full Assassin's
That's
Creed
awesome.
experience.
Oh, don't forget the Vita one, which will also
And the Vita.
require you to get a Vita.
You can also pick up the Assassin's Creed, 3 Vita console.
There's one other thing that I wanted to get to, two other points, but this one's really fast that Trevor and I noted a lot. Okay, so this is Silent Hill Downpour. This game was actually pretty good. It's Silent Hill, so it's not a great game, but I enjoyed it because I'm a fanboy. So here's the case for it. Now let's take a look at the back here. I don't know how well you can see this, but do you see all the box art on that? Do you see all the pictures and everything? Because for me, having only 2 pictures like this is so freaking ridiculous. You don't have to have everything in 3 different languages. You don't have to take up most of the pace with, please don't sue us, please don't sue us, please don't sue us, please don't sue us. Do not sue us in French. This is enough of this crap. Please actually put box art on there. I don't even know what game I'm looking at based on this. Sorry, I just needed to point that out. Did anyone else have anything else that they don't like about gaming nowadays?
On the subject of box art, that Arkham City Game of the Year edition box art
that's
is stupid looking.
You should never have to put that a game's a 10 out of 10. People will buy it. People will tell, they'll see reviews. Friends will tell them. You never put 10 out of 10. That's just
And it
dumb.
literally takes up like a quarter of the box. It just says 10 out of 10, and it was like IGN or somebody like that.
At least it's better than GamePro saying that Final Fantasy VII was the greatest game ever made.
IGN 9.8 out of 10. It's okay.
It's okay. It's alright.
We could go into a half hour of that stuff. 8 does not mean it's an alright game. 8.5
Gaming
doesn't mean it's
journalism.
okay.
Let's go into gaming
Let's go.
journalism now.
Let's go into gaming journalism right here. This is a pretty famous picture, but right, guys, have you all seen it by this point?
Yeah.
This is Jeff Keighley. He used to work for G4. He's a really respected game journalist, and he is sitting around a bunch of Mountain Dew and Doritos. This is what gaming journalism has come nowadays. I can only imagine what they had to say to him. Oh, talk about Halo 4 and the games that are coming out.
Just look at his face.
Just look at his face. He's so sad. His life is ruined. I will remind you, this is literally... Can anyone think of... I mean, there might be a couple more, but this is one of the most respected gaming journalists out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't really name off names.
I couldn't really name it.
But everyone knows Jeff Keighley, right? Yeah. So, like, you make him do this, like... talk about Halo 4. Don't sim around all this product placement stuff. It's only a matter of time before... I saw a picture today where it was Modern Warfare 3, and it was in the beginning of the game where you're being helped up by your sergeant or whatever.
Is it a Pepsi
Yes,
one?
and it's a Pepsi one. There's Pepsi stuff all over banners, and it says, like, thirst meter 3 out of 10, and then, like, your bullets are, like, Pepsi logos and everything. It's like, achieve true thirst. It's like, come on.
Conrad, I need a refill.
This is not okay. We just want to play video games. We don't want to get double XP for buying... Oh,
Halo, brought to you
Halo.
by...
hey, gamers kind of have a problem with playing games a lot and eating bad food. Please don't make it worse. Come on. Get Doritos and Mountain Dew.
Yeah, dude,
Gamer fuel.
I need my gamer fuel.
Like, that's so... I can't believe it. And it's like, does anyone else out there think that... Like, let's look at this one. Does anyone else think that, some of these review sites are kind of paid off? What did they give us, a 4 out of 5? Did anyone play Resident Evil 6? It's not the
4
best
out of
game
10.
of the year, but it's not a 4 out of 10. It's not even close.
No.
Like, it's not, like, that's asinine. They gave Silent Hill Downpour a 3.5 out of 10. Trev, you saw me play the entire game. Is it even close to a 3.5?
No.
A 3.5 is a broken mess.
Use this example.
What did they give this?
Probably like a 9.5.
They do give a lot of the Call of Duty games really, really high scores. I remember, besides the PC one, I remember the PC one got bad reviews for MW3, but just Black Ops 2 is going to come out and get like a 9.5.
IGN's review was already leaked. They got like a 9 out of 10.
What was that game where they gave it like, I think it was Borderlands 2, where they gave it like, they literally gave it like a 9.5 and at the end put it's alright, or it's an okay game.
That was pretty much IGN's Borderlands 2 review.
I thought so.
They gave them like a 9.25 or something like that, like something really high. And I read the review, and it was like, it talked about some good stuff, but like, the entire review was talking about like things that sort of irked them, and like, they're like, well, considering all the flaws, this game is like pretty good. And it was like 9.25. Yeah.
I remember seeing that. It was like a laundry list of complaints that they had, and then they were like 9.25. So like, it doesn't... it sucks because you used to, even Game Informer, you used to be able to look back on it and take it seriously.
Right.
And you can't do it anymore. Like, when they gave Metal Gear Solid 2 a 10, like, I went crazy because I love Metal Gear. Like, I remember reading that issue. I was like, oh my god, they gave this a 10? Because I think in its entire history, they gave, like, 8 games a 10 before that. And now, like, all these games are, like, 9.25, 9.5. Like, video games are getting to the point where all games that come out, there's so much money into them that they're pretty good. So, like, giving everything a 9, it's just, it's just dumb.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't the NES era where you had one good game and the rest were all shovelware.
No, I mean, there's still shovelware games, but for the most part, games...
They're on the Wii.
Games have hundreds of millions of dollars put into them, so they're not going to be broken pieces of garbage. So when you give 4 to something like Resident Evil 6, like, what are you saying? Did Capcom not pay you enough? Like...
Yeah.
That's
like,
probably it.
Games like Call of Duty should really be given, like, a 7. Like, they're good games, but there's nothing to them that are any different from, especially the sequels, but anything in general in just, like, any other game. It's just, like, they're a solid game, but there's nothing differentiating them from anything else. So the only good games that should really be given like 8s or 9s or even like something as high as 10s should be games that are like that unique that they would be given that compared to all the other games.
Can anyone else think of a game that came out this year or possibly last year that like legitimately earns like a 9 to 9.5? Like legitimately like that different and that crazy?
Skyward Sword. For sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
Skyward Sword was
the
really,
controls were revolutionary.
Skyward Sword was really, really well made.
It was still a Zelda game. It still fit all the Zelda tropes, but I mean, other than that,
you guys played Borderlands 2 a lot. Do you think it honestly deserves like a 9.5?
No, it's like an 8.
It's a fun
I legitimately
game.
love the game, but it's not groundbreaking at all. Like, it does everything the first game did, but better, but it's not revolutionary by any...
Like something like an 8?
That's
Yeah.
like an 8,
Yeah, I mean, and if IGN's writing up a review that says, oh, well, it's good, but it has a lot of flaws, that used to be a 7. in
Yeah.
most-
That used to be what, like the staple for Silent Hill was that it was a 7. Because it was frustrating to play because it's Silent Hill, but it had a great story and great atmosphere, so it's a 7. Like, that used to be, you know, a staple of stuff. I think, what would you guys give something like Heavy Rain? Or like something along those lines?
I never played it. So.
I have pretty negative
On movie games.
opinions about, especially Sony's recent view of video gaming, where movies and video games are pretty much the same thing. I honestly go into video games thinking that they're actual games. So Heavy Rain, I would probably give something like it's a good movie, but there's nothing to it. It's not a game. It's not a game.
Active time events,
Yeah.
man.
Press X to Jason.
Jason!
I'd probably give it a pretty low review, like maybe like a 4 or 5. I just
Based on the fact that it's not really a game.
yeah.
What about,
there's
like-
nothing to it.
What about Metal Gear Solid 4?
Metal Gear Solid 4 has gameplay to it, and
It gets into
it has
It does.
yeah. I mean, it has very long cutscenes. I mean, how long is the ending cutscene?
Oh my god, it was like...
It's like a movie. It's 2
It's
hours.
like 2 hours, yeah.
Can I just say the best thing to be invented in video games in the last 10 years came from Kingdom Hearts 1? Does
And
anyone know what it is?
Skipping cutscenes?
Skipping and pausing cutscenes is the
Pausing
best.
Cutscenes is also so clutch when you have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, it's so great. I just imagine like Metal Gear Solid 2. Trevor and I would be playing Metal Gear Solid 2, and my dad would be like, "Hey, come here for a second." We'd be like, hold on a second," and literally knowing that
We're on the last
That-
cutscene. It's only going to be another 45 minutes.
that the one that I always remember is the one where Raiden meets the real. I think it's the real president, and he just starts, like, he grabs his crotch and everything, and it goes for, like, 45 minutes, and you're, like, even skipping it takes, like, 5 minutes, so, like, just being able to pause, so clutch, so awesome. Every game that has it in is so much better because it has that. We did a lot of negative stuff. Does anyone have anything positive to say?
Wait, did we cover all our negatives?
Does anyone else?
Did we want to talk about development cycles?
I guess we can. We got time.
We can just do this all night.
12-month development cycles, even if you have 2 development teams, is just not going to fly. I honestly can't believe... Black Ops 2, honestly, looks pretty good. right? Like, it looks like a pretty cool game. I know that I'll play it. I play Black Ops Online once in a while, MW3. I get sick after like 15 minutes, but I still
does
play
it look
though.
substantially different from any other Call of Duty?
It looks like
No.
they tried the most to change it, but it's still. I mean, they're not going to change something that sells that well.
Yeah,
No, it's
they
still-
did. They did try,
it's
but
fine.
like, I just can't believe that at this point we're still looking at Call of Duty being as big as it is. Like, I honestly thought after last year there would be somewhat of a drop off in everything.
Especially
but
after everyone like hated MW3.
everyone hated MW3. I just had like Battlefield's on an 18-month development cycle, and like Battlefield's a great game, but like, you need to get into new IPs, intellectual properties, and everything. You need to put time into games. Like, even back in the day, games took longer to make. You know, how long was Ocarina of Time?
Right,
You know,
but even
delayed?
Nintendo's guilty of it. These new Super Mario Brothers that are just carbon copies of each other, like, Nintendo has a lot of wherewithal to bring out New Super Mario Brothers U when it's essentially the same game as New Super Mario Brothers Wii, except now you can play as your Mii. Oh, that's exciting, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Bring out new titles in the series.
Yeah.
I get excited when I see, like, Devil May Cry hasn't had a game since 2007?
Yeah.
DMC4, and
yeah.
say whatever you want about DMC and how edgy it is and everything, but it's nice to see a new Devil May Cry game, you know?
I'm definitely going to get it.
Yeah, just like for me when Resident Evil 6 came out, I was like, wow, there hasn't been... I don't count Operation Raccoon City, don't get me wrong. There hasn't been a new Resident Evil game for 4 or 5 years. Like, that's cool. I can see it if you pick up Assassin's Creed every year and like it, but I just can't believe that people are still getting it. Like, Revelations to me, Assassin's Creed Revelations was like, oh my god, this game looks exactly the same as Brotherhood. Like, DLC level kind of thing. So, just new properties out there. You still have the people who will play the games, you know, for new stuff.